What's going on, Bears fans, and welcome back to the Bear Review. So day 3 of training camp is in the books, and today was also the first day open to both fans and media, so you know there was a buzz at Halas Hall that cannot be matched. Today's sessions had a little bit of everything. Red zone intensity, some highlight plays, and some tough moments, especially for the offense. But we also had a few guys really stepping up. So today I'm here to break it all down for you, and let's get right into it. As with the last 2 days, today's practice was heavily focused on situational football, red zone work, 2-minute drills, etc. All those moments that end up deciding close games. And right away, you can tell both sides of the ball were locked in. The offense and defense went toe-to-toe in some high-pressure reps, and let's just say the defense came out swinging. Okay, so let's get to what everybody wants to talk about, and that's Caleb Williams. I know a lot of you are watching his every move, and honestly, today was a bit of a roller coaster based on reports. Early on in 11-on-11 drills, the defensive pressure was constant. Montez Sweat was in the backfield all day long. He just blew past the line untouched at one point. Caleb Williams honestly had zero chance on a couple of those snaps. Then we jumped to the red zone 7-on-7 period, and Caleb Williams threw back-to-back interception. First one was tipped on a pass intended for DJ Moore that Jaquan Brisker picked off, and the next play, Caleb tried to force one, and it got grabbed again, this time by T.J. Edwards. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't want to start sounding any alarm bells. This is what happens when you're installing a new system and going up against a great defense. That's really starting to click. But still, those are mistakes you can't repeat in real games, especially in the red zone. This is why you do these red zone drills in training camp, to work out those kinks. But here's the thing, Caleb Williams didn't fold. Later in red zone 11-on-11s, he dropped a beautiful pass to Olamide Zacchaeus in the back of the end zone. Working through his reads, found his guy, and put it only where he could get it. Another play later during this same drill, he hit Rome Odunze in the back of the end zone for another touchdown. And during the 2-minute drill near the end of practice, Caleb managed the clock well, hit a few clutch throws, and moved the offense into field goal range with a good 7-play drive. Now, a few drops did kill the momentum overall, but there was no panic, and overall he had a good rhythm. And honestly, that's what I want to hear. He made mistakes, yeah, but he didn't spiral. That's a good sign for a young quarterback. And that's what we need to take away from all this. And honestly, speaking of good signs, I quickly want to talk about J.P. Richardson. This rookie wideout is quietly stacking days. With the third-team offense, he made back-to-back catches and team drills and just looks smooth. Reliable hands, good route running, and crisp timing. I know it's early, but he's pushing for a roster spot already. If he keeps showing out in the preseason, he could force the coach's hand. Sticking with the third-team offense, quarterback Tyson Bagent also had a good day. During the team's red zone 7-on-7s, he tossed multiple touchdowns to the likes of Roshan Johnson and Samori Torre. He looked sharp, made some good throws, and didn't hesitate. Now these early days of training camp are usually defensive forward, and I got to give the defense their flowers today. They brought the juice. Dennis Allen's unit was throwing looks at the offense all day. We saw some of his patented dime packages, disguised coverages, and creative pressure schemes. It was aggressive, and the offense felt it. It was good to see Montez Sweat being an absolute problem today, not just once or twice, consistently. He blew up plays off the edge and made it tough for Caleb to get settled. Jaquan Brisker and T.J. Edwards both came up with picks today. The whole secondary was flying around, even in tight spaces of the red zone. They didn't back off. They were physical, smart, and opportunistic. One of the major things you got to take away from these past 3 days is the defense's identity is starting to show. They're going to be a deep, aggressive, and they've got the leaders at every level. You'll love to see it. Okay, so some personnel updates from today. Braxton Jones had a scheduled rest day. The Bears are still easing him back in from his ankle injury last season. Rookie Ozzy Trapilo again stepped in at left tackle. And look, he had some tough reps, especially against Dayo Dangbo, but he showed flashes and never made the same mistake twice. Veteran Joe Thuney even shouted him out for his preparation and growth. Other guys who were out today were, of course, wide receiver Luther Burden with his hamstring, defensive tackle Shamar Turner dealing with an ankle injury, and cornerback Sal Frazier dealing with personal reasons. It's also worth noting nickel cornerback Kyler Gordon lined up as safety for at least one play. Could be just a look, but interesting flexibility there. That's something to keep an eye on. Gordon's versatility gives the defense another chess piece, and we all know how Dennis Allen loves his chess pieces. Now, as I said earlier, the red zone and 2-minute drills were the core of today's sessions, and I love this. It's where you see what your team is really made of. In the red zone, everything's tighter, faster decisions, and quick pressure. The defense won more reps, no question, but the offense got some valuable work in. The 2-minute drill was big. Starting on their own 37 with 1:37 left on the clock and 2 timeouts, Caleb Williams took the team down in 7 plays, mixing short passes and some nice clock management. It was only due to a couple drops they had to end with a 49-yard field goal attempt, and honestly, that's a win in the scenario. After practice, of course, we heard from both players and coaches. Here's what we heard from those conversations. Starting off with offensive coordinator Declan Doyle on the offense. He said, "We're seeing some growing pains, but each mistake is a solid learning opportunity." And on Caleb Williams specifically, he said his pre-snap command is improving, but we need to keep pushing his progression and field vision. Wide receiver DJ Moore also had this to say about the defense. Their defense looks completely different this year. and it's definitely tough to face. He also praised how guys are holding each other accountable this year, more intensity and more buy-in. Safety Kevin Byard talked about the camp environment as well by saying when you combine Ben Johnson and Dennis Allen, everyone's getting pushed to compete every single day. That's the mindset you want in July. Push now, so you're sharp in September. So here's where we stand after day 3. The defense is playing with serious confidence and physicality. The offense is learning. Some mistakes, some flashes, but it's moving forward. Caleb's going to have his growing pains. There's nothing you can do to get around that. Deal with it. But he's also showing leadership and command in those pressure situations. Guys like J.P. Richardson are turning heads. Trapilo got a shot and held his own today. Competition is real, and that's what you want to see early in camp. You got to understand, guys, it's not about being perfect right now. It's about stacking days, learning fast, and competing hard. And that's exactly what this team is doing. If I want to give you guys a nickel's worth of free advice, stay off the social media cesspools. You have people chasing perfection, and perfection just honestly doesn't exist. You want greatness. And to get to greatness, you need to have progression. It's just the natural order of things. All right, guys, let me know in the comments. Are you more impressed by the defense or more concerned about the offense? And what do you think of Caleb's performance? If you liked the video, drop a like, hit the subscribe button, and turn on the bell for more Bears camp updates all week long. Again, thank you all for watching, and as always, bear down.